I've had AirPods 3 for 3 months now, and in this video I will talk about my experience with them, how they compare to the AirPods Pro, and if they're worth it. Hey, what's up guys, it's Darius, and I've been using AirPods 3 as my main headphones for a long time now, about 3 months, so I know them quite well. First of all, let's start with the design. The inspiration for the design is quite obvious. They're meant to look like the more expensive Pros, and they nail it. When they're in the ear, no one can tell the difference between the two. Most people just think they are the Pros, and I'm sure that's intentional. Apple products are a novelty, and if they look more expensive than they actually are, then I think most people will appreciate that. But if you look closely, there are a few differences. The stem is a little shorter and the earpiece isn't as deep as on the Pros. Once you take them out of the ears, you notice the most obvious difference, the lack of silicone ear tips. They kind of look like you took off the ear tips on the Pros. They have a hardstyle fit, like on their predecessor, just a little bigger and rounder. That means they fill more of your ear and fit a little tighter. They sit deeper in the ears than the 2s, but not as much as the Pros. And personally, I really like how they fit. They're very comfortable and I can listen to them for hours without any issues. There's no pressure on the ears. They also don't fall out when working out, for example, but all of that, weirdly enough, only applies to my left ear. My right ear is shaped a little different and it doesn't really fit all that well. With the Pros, I don't have this issue because I can just change the silicone ear tips. They also sit much tighter in the ear. The silicone ear tips adapt to your ears, providing a decent passive seal. The open design on the AirPods 3 also means you don't have any sort of noise isolation. Most outside noises can be heard and there's nothing you can do about it except turn up the volume. Wind noises are especially bad when riding a bike, for example. That also means you usually end up turning up the volume a little more than on the Pros to cancel out some ambient noise. Now the Pros, on the other hand, have active noise cancellation. It works really well. It's one of the best out there, and it's especially good at suppressing constant noises. I definitely choose the Pros for traveling, but even if you turn it off, they do provide a pretty decent seal already. You can toggle the ambient mode if you want to hear more of your surroundings, which works surprisingly well, but it's not quite as natural as on the AirPods 3. Further features include hands-free Hey Siri, automatic ear detection with auto play pause, Find My AirPods, as well as spatial audio, which kind of simulates surround sound. You can even have it track your head, which is pretty wild, but it works quite well. I usually kept it in the fixed mode though, which enhances the listening experience without the head tracking feature. Now, all of these features are only available on Apple devices. If you use an Android, I wouldn't really recommend buying either of the two because the compatibility is quite limited. There are much better options available for Android users. Now, if you do end up using them with an Android, you are stuck with the controls on the earbud stems themselves. They're tactile buttons now, so no touch controls, which is nice because there are no accidental touches. You get the standard media controls, but unfortunately you cannot adjust the volume using the buttons. Microphone quality is also much better when used with an Apple device. Both sound very good, but the newer 3s sound a little better. But the Pros have the upper hand in terms of noise suppression thanks to the ANC, which makes it easier to understand the person on the other end of the line. In terms of sound quality, AirPods 3 are a massive upgrade over the predecessors. They sound very similar to the Pros, although it's quite hard to compare them due to the different types of fit. Both sound very good. I had some people actually say that the 3s sound better. To my ears it's quite close, but the noise isolation on the Pros do enhance the listening experience quite a bit in noisier environments. Generally though, the one you prefer is completely subjective. Battery life has also been improved. You get around 6 hours on a single charge, which is very good, and about 2 hours more than on the predecessors, and around 1.5 to 1 hour more than the Pros. Both cases offer an additional 24 hours of listening, which is awesome. Spatial audio as well as active noise cancellation does affect the battery and decreases it a little bit. By the way, the case is very similar to the Pros now, except it's a little shorter. The clicking mechanism is still hella addicting though. On the bottom you do unfortunately still have a lightning port, but it does charge fairly quick. 5 minutes of charging time will get you 1 hour of listening time, which is pretty good. New is also MagSafe, which the Pros also have now, which is nice. I'm still waiting for some reverse MagSafe though, where you can just pop on the AirPods in the back of your phone and have them charge that would be sick. Now over the last couple of months, they've held up pretty well. The earbuds themselves are flawless, but the case is pretty scuffed up. After a few weeks already, it had a bunch of scratches on them. The Pros aren't any better, but they're also much older. New is also an IPX4 sweat protection, which is a nice thing to have, and you can definitely use them when exercising. I've used them quite a bit when working out, and both stay in my ear quite well, surprisingly actually. I thought the 3s would fall out more, but they really don't. But the Pros do have the advantage of the active noise cancellation. Still sounds like smashing weights will get through on both of them. And here's the issue with the AirPods 3. They're awesome headphones for sure. I really like them, but so are the AirPods Pro. The original price of the AirPods 3 is about $100 cheaper than the Pros, but 3 months later, it's still pretty stable, while the Pros price has dropped drastically since they've been on the market for a much longer time. Currently, the Pros will set you back around $20 to $30 more than the AirPods 3, but I've seen them on sale for the exact same price, and then there's really no point getting the AirPods 3. It would only really make sense if you love the open design and absolutely hate the silicone ear tips, then sure, go for the AirPods 3, but otherwise, if they're about the same price, I'd just go with the Pros. If the AirPods 3 come down in price to maybe $140, $150, then there will be a no-brainer for sure. And if you can pick them up for that price or even less, then absolutely get them. I highly recommend them. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to smash the like button and the subscribe button below to not miss any of my upcoming videos. Watch these 2 videos next, and I'll see you guys in the next one.